Hi, everybody. My name is Rachel Fagan. I'm a Master Certified Life Coach and owner of Inspired Evolution LLC in Pennsylvania. And today I am going to talk to you about pivoting. So if there's one thing that I've learned in life, it's that change is inevitable. Change happens all the time. It can be unwelcome, uncomfortable, and even scary. And sometimes you don't even get a choice in the matter. Maybe you lose a job, or a relationship falls apart, or illness strikes, or maybe a life ends, or an act of nature occurs. Sometimes change happens because we make mistakes. And sometimes we just grow from our previous experiences and desire the change. When you find out that your life is perhaps not going as you had hoped or planned, it might be time to consider pivoting. And to pivot, in its most basic definition, is to turn, to rotate, or change direction. And there are many areas of life that a person can pivot. They can pivot in health, relationships, social circles, maybe their career, maybe their family structure, mindset, your skill set, how you have fun, your spirituality, your environment, even perhaps in your money, perhaps in education. Pivoting in an area of life is scary, and adaptability is key here. Pivoting requires letting go of the things that no longer serve us and our purpose while embracing other possibilities. It is much less about making a perfect decision from maybe a myriad of options than it is about developing your faith and confidence in yourself and in God that you will find your path and succeed in something larger than yourself. Pivoting does not mean failure, but sometimes it comes disguised as it until the bigger picture or lesson unfolds and you can recognize the gifts it brings. There have been many instances in my life where I've had to or even chosen to pivot. For example, my sister became very ill when we were both young and required significant medical treatment far from our home. We pivoted our family structure temporarily, our schedules, our finances, and locations, and just made it work. She made a full recovery, and our family is so much stronger from it, but in the time, it was rough. Another example, I really loved gymnastics as a little girl, but a stress fracture in my spine due to a birth defect brought my gymnastics career. I thought I was an amazingly talented gymnast at the time until I saw the home videos of it, indicated I was not. But it brought my gymnastics career to a screeching halt. And after a while of feeling sorry for myself, I pivoted and I started to explore. And I found music, which has been one of the biggest blessings in my life. Another example, I went to college initially for music, but I couldn't decide on a major. So I found myself bouncing around, changing majors all the time within the music field. And once I realized that I was losing my passion for something that I loved so much because it was all I had time for, I pivoted. I took a smaller music course load. I added a few elementary education courses to see what they were like, and I ended up changing majors again my senior year. That's fun. That's a fun conversation. Along the way, I also had a couple of relationships that also required some pivoting. Enough said about that one. Another example is I landed a teaching position not long after completing my post-bac degree, and I spent 4 wonderful years teaching first grade. However, state budget cuts resulted in furloughs, and I was actually forced to pivot into a position that I felt very inadequate and inexperienced to fulfill. Ironically, it was elementary general music. So in that, I pivoted. I was grateful to still have a job, but I felt highly unprepared for it. And so I contacted all of my music education resources for help, and I attended conferences, and I figured out a system that would temporarily work for me while I, as you guessed it, pivoted again to complete my master's degree in reading and started searching for a new teaching position. Not long after completing my master's program and reading specialist and literacy coaching certification, I was thrilled to learn that I was being moved into a reading interventionist position in the same district where I started my teaching career. And I remained in that position until recently when I resigned after 13 years of teaching. And then I found myself in a situation of not really knowing what to do or who I was, really. So I pivoted again. And this time I hired a coach who helped me rediscover who I was and what I wanted to do. And now I'm so excited because I'm now into life coaching and I'm loving it. And there are some great opportunities and things coming up that I cannot wait to share with you. So pivoting has been a huge part of my adult life. And when I think about all the times in my life that I've had to learn to pivot, I recognize that I had to learn to do so while remaining grounded in my true core values and authentic self. I think when we pivot in life, what we are really doing is changing direction or our strategy while staying grounded in our vision. So far, when I've pivoted while remaining grounded in these areas, I've ended up being so incredibly grateful for the experience. And so I'm trusting that these current pivots that I'm in and future pivots will be no different. So I would love to know about you. Is there any area in your life that might benefit from pivoting? If you're not sure, I want to share just some signs that you might be experiencing that might be signs that you might want to consider pivoting. So one sign might be if your body is telling you physically, stress, poor sleep, low energy, pain, sickness. Any of those might be signs that it's time to consider pivoting. Another sign, you're unhappy, restless, apathetic, or discontent also might be a sign you should consider pivoting. Another sign might be if your way or someone else's way that you're following isn't working. Another sign that you might want to pivot is if you're not getting the results that you're seeking. You might need a new strategy or a new plan. Another sign might be you're inspired by something new, or you find yourself frequently daydreaming about something different. Maybe your emotions seem unusual. Maybe you're looking at other possibilities or are even jealous of other people in different situations. Or maybe you've experienced a major change or event that's disrupted your day-to-day life. I want you to really consider that. Those all might be signs that it's time for a pivot. They also might be signs that you might need a little bit of additional help, either through a licensed therapist or a coach. So please, if you're feeling any of those, talk to someone. Try to figure out, maybe that person can try to figure out and help you figure out what's next for you. So thank you so much for tuning in. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you all have a great day.